I hope you've enjoyed the past few weeks of the podcast, the Ask the Angels They Are Anxious to Assist You series. Today, I want to start by reading a card that I got in the mail before I actually started the series. And it's from one of my mom's friends who listens to my podcast. And I just really love what she wrote. I'm not sure if she is quoting somebody in this handwritten letter or if she wrote these words herself, but it's so beautiful. Each lifetime is the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. So no one has within themselves all the pieces to their puzzle. Everyone carries within them at least one or many pieces to someone else's puzzle. And when you present your piece, which is worthless to you, to another, whether you know it or not, you are a messenger from the Most High. You are an angel. I am editing to just add that I found the source of this quote. It's Rabbi Lawrence Kushner. And I just was so touched, first off, that she wrote me this beautiful card, and it's this handmade card that she made with an angel on it, and that I actually got it right at the beginning of when I started my Ask the Angels series. And I've been holding on to it to read to you today as a nice way to kind of wrap up this series, though hopefully I'll have some of you who want to be on as a guest to share any experiences you've had with angels, both earthly and heavenly angels. So I'm recording this at 9:40 at night, and I don't have an outline. Usually I do, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about some other experiences I've had with angels since I first recorded that series, because I posted it in the last month of May of 2022, but I actually first recorded it, I think 2 years ago. So maybe 3 years ago. I think it was pre-COVID that I recorded that. So first, let's talk about earthly angels. So earthly angels are people in your life that are here on the earth that are angels to you. And I have so many in my life. My mom is for sure an earthly angel. She was here visiting last week, and she hemmed my curtains, and she helped my son with sewing elastic into his pants. I mean, she's always helping others, and she is an earthly angel. And then I have so many friends that have helped me through the years. I'm just going to say one or two examples. For instance, I have a friend, Nikki, who one day my husband was out of town. It was like 9:30 at night or something. And my neck was really, really hurting me. I just knew I needed just a little neck rub. And I called Nikki and said, "Can you just come over and rub my neck for a few minutes?" And Nikki's super busy because she has 7 or 8 kids. I can't remember how many. Seven kids. And she came over and rubbed my neck for a few minutes, and it helped so much. And that's just a simple example. It wasn't like life-saving or anything, but it really helped me in that moment. And I have friends, Valerie, who I can call on a moment's notice and talk through things, and she's there to help me process it. My friend Jen, who I've been friends with since 2004, and if my family needs anything, she's there to help. She has brought me meals and just so much history with people. My friends here in Utah that I don't quite have that deep, long-lasting relationship where I guess I could call them up at a moment's notice and they would help me. But I'm building that. But angels helped lead one of my best friends from California, Angela, to come move here, literally 5 minutes from my house. So I do have a person like that in my back pocket. And my friend Marianne here, who we coach each other every week. We are each other's angels. And I think that's how it so often goes. We are angels to others, and they are angels to us. And it can be big or it can be small, and it's fine. Either way, it's helpful and can change our lives for the better. Next, let's talk heavenly angels. And I actually I have on my phone an album of pictures of feathers. Once I asked God for the signs of feathers for when angels were around, or when I needed to ask for angels, or if I needed to be an angel, I of course started seeing feathers everywhere, but in the strangest ways. And I already shared some of that on a previous episode, which I'll link to. But since I recorded that, over 2 years ago, I, of course, still see feathers everywhere. And so I take pictures of them now when I see them because literally it's hilarious. A lot are just on the floor and, that's okay. But I still take pictures. One's in a sink. A lot are on my clothes. I went to record a podcast about the Mexico Miracle with someone, and they were videotaping me, and I was really nervous about it when I'm getting videotaped. And as I was getting out of the car, I said a prayer. I'm like, Heavenly Father, just help me to stay calm and feel confident. And I get out of the car and I look down, and on my shirt was a little tiny feather. And I was like, thank you. It was just a beautiful little sign that angels would be with me when I did that podcast episode. I have a picture of a sweater hanging in my closet with a giant feather on it, and a bowl a purple bowl that has a feather in it. And then my favorite one is actually on my van. And I was talking to my friend Angela, I believe, and there was a situation that was going on, and she was asking for prayers, so I said I'd pray for her. And then I got in my van and I drove to the mailbox. And I got out to get my mail, and when I turned around to look at my van, there was a giant feather on it. It has to be at least 4 or 5 inches long. And I just started laughing and realized I needed to tell Angela that she needed to pray and ask for angels for this specific situation. So I did. I called her. I sent her the picture of the feather, and I'm like, I think this was a reminder for me to remind you to ask for angels. And she did, and the situation worked out in the end. I just really love noticing when feathers pop up because it reminds me of heavenly angels and the opportunity we have to call on their help, pray, and ask God to send angels. And I do this probably a few times a week. And I love to tell my clients about this tool and remind them of this wonderful heavenly help that they can get when they ask. Okay, I just paused and said a little prayer to ask Heavenly Father to help remind me of a good angel experience that I could share. What came to my mind is when I was driving home from California to Utah, and there's this big gap where there's no gas stations, and I have a new car or a newer car, and it's so dumb because I can never tell when it's getting close to empty. Like the color of the empty visual thing is too much like the full. I don't know. It's a problem. And all of a sudden, the empty light popped on, and I still had quite a ways to go. And it tells you how many miles you have left. It tells me at like 24 miles. I mean, I think it should tell me sooner, and I think I should know to notice sooner. I don't know. It's a challenge for me right now. But I had, a little more than 24 miles to go till I was going to reach the gas station, the next exit, which I hoped had a gas station. And I remember praying and asking God to send angels to help my car make it. And I was like, just help my car be super fuel efficient, like just to help me feel confident and safe as I continue driving. I mean, there's no other option. I have to keep driving. But I wanted that extra heavenly help to make it. And I did. I made it to that exit, and there was a gas station, and I filled up. It ended up being okay. Could it have been okay without the angel's help? Sure. But would I have been freaking out a lot more? Yes. So again, maybe it's a placebo. I don't know. But it's a placebo I love because it helps me to stay calmer and more confident. And I know that so many of my clients and my friends that ask for angels' help receive it and are blessed for it. So I host 2 other podcasts, and I'm starting to get really good at doing interviews, and I want to start doing interviews on this podcast as well. I know people love angels, and sometimes they have experiences that they want to share that are appropriate. So if you want to pray about it and see if there's an experience that you'd like to share about angelic help in your life, whether it be earthly or heavenly, I would love to have you as a guest on my podcast. I will have a link to a place where you can go ahead and sign up to do that. And I really hope at least one or two of you guys, maybe even more, will be willing to come on and share. It can be short and sweet or long. I don't care. I just want to have you as a guest on my podcast. So go ahead and look in the show notes and click on the link to go to the calendar to set up a time to be a guest. Thanks so much.